The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Joe Biden, we were talking about all the Biden stuff and classified documents. Well, Joe Biden right now is he's suing the Department of Justice, saying, do not release. He's trying to block the release of the conversations he had with his author, where Robert Hur says in the conversation, I'm going now to get my classified documents. Oh, here they are. I brought them from downstairs. And then apparently he read verbatim from the classified documents.
Oh, my God.
And then remember, Joe Biden, he never got charged with it. Remember, he said it was an elderly, well-meaning man. And yet we just talked about what happened to President Trump. Well, who better to talk about all of this than Fox News senior legal analyst, best-selling author Gregg Jarrett. Gregg, so what's going to happen with this case with Joe Biden? Because he doesn't want those conversations to come out.
Yeah, I don't think Biden is going to win. He's suing to keep his self-incriminating tape recordings hidden from the American people who have a right to know, to listen to them, to determine whether he was lying over and over again when he insisted, I never shared top-secret classified information with anyone. Well, in point of fact, he did. And those conversations with his ghostwriter, in which he's sharing top-secret information, it's on the tapes. And that's confirmed by the special counsel, Robert Hur, who listened to the tapes. And the public is entitled to hear them for themselves. Biden's claim that, these tapes are personal and private, that's utterly absurd. It's not what the law says, because the tapes were obtained lawfully by consent in a criminal investigation, which means that Biden does not have a Fourth Amendment privacy interest in them. The tapes are in the public and prosecutorial domain, and that strips away any privacy protections by law. Not only that, Biden was sharing the classified contents of documents that are owned not by him, but owned by the government. Yet he kept telling the special counsel, these are my documents. No, they're not. He stole them. And the government eventually seized them and took them back. So you don't get to hide behind privacy rights when you steal government records. It's as simple as that. So I have no doubt that the judge will, in the end, rule against Biden and release the tapes to the public.
Also, he wasn't president at the time.
Yeah, he had no legal right to have those documents in his possession, period.
Yeah, you guys, I'm looking at the deadline. It was the audio tape was 2017. I mean, he had no right to have it at that point.
No, but a vice president, as Ed Cox has pointed out, the vice president of the United States has no capacity at all.
That's
to hold
my
those
point.
Documents. Only a president of the United States.
Exactly. And he was reading it to an author. It wasn't like he was reading it to the president of the United States. He was reading it to an author at the time.
So this was a document in 2017 when he's out of office.
It dates all the way back.
He was only a vice president.
Yeah, he's only a vice president when he was reading these documents to an author.
It dates back all the way to 2007 because he used those tapes and those documents for two different books in 2007, 2017. And
so
some of those documents...
He was senator. That's the other thing, right?
He stole some of the documents as a U.S. senator. So he has absolutely no protection under the Presidential Records Act. He should have been charged for violating the Espionage Act, clear-cut case. He was only spared because he was being investigated by his own Department of Justice, and, the fix was in. And, it was a crooked cover-up. And they used the excuse, now famously quoted, that he is a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Try to understand the paradox there. A man who's supposedly incompetent to stand trial, but somehow competent to be president of the United States. I mean, it's absurd.
By the way, it comes also as all this news is breaking about Jill Biden. I'm sure you heard that, where Jill Biden says when she saw him during the debate, that was the famous 2024 debate. She said, "Oh, I thought he had a stroke," but then she said he was cognizant. She had never seen him like that before or after. It was just during that one debate.
That's got to be a lie too.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be, right?
Was she lying first, middle, or after, or all the above? Greg,
It was a Claude Rains moment from Casablanca, right? I'm shocked to see my husband mentally frail and fumbling. Of course she knew all along. She was the leader of the cover-up for years.
Right. I mean, come on. He had a lapse suddenly because the whole world saw it. I mean, my goodness. Judge Weinberg.
So Greg, I want to ask you a legal question. So the Secretary of Homeland Security now says, if you want to be a sanctuary city, then we have a right to stop international planes from landing at airports in these sanctuary cities. What are your thoughts about the authority of DHS and the federal government to do that?
Well, it's an interesting subject. By law, airlines cannot offload international travelers unless customs officials are present at the airport to conduct the inspection. So if DHS withdraws those agents, and I think they have grounds to do that, those airports lose their ability to handle international arrivals. And as you know, Judge, states have no authority over federal officials, and under the Supremacy Clause in the Constitution, federal law supersedes any state action or state law.
Exactly right.
Now, of course, you also know, Judge, that the states will rush to the nearest courthouse to get a judge to issue a stay and, force CBP to remain at their post. They'll conjure up all kinds of arguments. Oh, it's punitive, irreparable harm, violates administrative procedures, who knows. But the litigation would be immediate. It would be intensive. I think Congress might also get involved to draft legislation to block DHS. I know Mullen is getting pushback from Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation. Ultimately, I think the president is going to have to make a decision on this. But look, sanctuary cities and states have brought this on themselves. They refuse to cooperate. They actively interfere.
You get off the plane, Greg, you get off the plane from a foreign jurisdiction, and then you disappear into the streets of America, and then forces ICE to chase you down in the streets.
That's right, and then the states barricade the feds from coming in and out of facilities, preventing them from doing their job, which is enforcing federal law. By the way, that is a crime, as you know, impeding and interfering in federal enforcement. Also, harboring illegals, that's another crime. I've written a stream of columns saying it's about time we start arresting these state officials who are doing this.
Absolutely.
Now, let's go back to New Jersey for a second. And, I mean, these people are...
Do I have to come back to New Jersey?
No, we apologize.
We're sorry.
We apologize.
We're sorry, Greg.
Why isn't the federal officials arresting the people that are abusing them?
Well, they should be. Look, as I say, there are two federal statutes, harboring illegals and interfering in their arrest. You can't do that. And those are crimes. And way back in the beginning of the Trump administration's first term, I wrote several columns saying, let's arrest these people. And it never happened, and it's still not happening. And frankly, I think that's the only solution.
I agree, Greg, because, I mean, there are so many great people there in New Jersey. They deserve to be safe. And yet, the focus for politicians, it seems, on the Democratic side is going after this detention center and the officials there, blocking the roadways, shouting, screaming, so they can't get in or out. I mean, you could make a lot of justifications there.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you 100%. It's been a disappointment that the feds haven't taken this more seriously. You know, a lot of talk, but no action.
I agree. Greg, we always love having you. Thank you,
very
Greg,
much.
Jarrett. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.